நீங்க ஹாலிவுட் ஃபிலிம்ஸ்ல வொர்க் பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க. ஸோ அதோடைய எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ், அதனுடைய டெக்னிக்ஸ் இதுல எப்படி யூஸ் ஆச்சு? என்ன டெக்னிக்ஸ் இதுல யூஸ்
See,
பண்ணியிருக்கீங்க?
Hollywood film, we all have this idea that Hollywood now, okay, they're like, they'll use hundreds of lights and all of that. When I worked on Life of Pi, I observed Claudio Miranda, who's like a, Oscar-winning DOP. And if you look at, we were shooting in Pondicherry. The first day of the shoot was in a church. The sequence where the young boy, young Pi walks into the church and talks to the father. Now, Hollywood most of the time is trying to emulate natural light. So similarly to that, the classroom sequences also, I remember only one light was used in the classroom sequence. Sometimes there were no lights used. So it is something that I was amazed by. I'm like, oh, so I realized also, when I did my master's in cinematography in Europe, they use a lot of natural light. They're mostly emulating what the world around you gives you. Upper one, that's when the image becomes real.
Okay.
Right? That's when light is always available around. It's most ample. It's velichotane. It's like it's light. Even in darkness, if you go in the night, you go out. There's moonlight. There is street lights. So there is beauty all around us, right? For example, in the building it's been constructed by an architect. An architect is also an artist, right? So, for example, in the pre-climax sequence, when Mohan sir and Vijay sir face off, and the sequence, we shot it in a broken, it's an old spinning mill in Pondicherry. Okay, this was constructed in the 1600s or something like that, or 1800s, around that time. Now, back then there were no lights, right? So morning people used to come there, do their work, and go back in the night, right? Where do you light? The light comes from the sun.
Okay.
So the whole mill was constructed with the sun path.
Okay.
Right? Sun rises at a certain angle, goes midway and then sets in the west. Yeah. So they constructed they put the glass in such a way that there's ample sunlight throughout the day.
Okay.
So when we shot in that location, we hardly used any lights. We shot the whole thing with just one light for the for the artists, and the background if there was a little bit of darkness, whatever light we could use. But the rest of it, the big strong sunbeams were accentuated with smoke.
Okay.
So most of that sequence was shot with natural light. So I'm a big proponent of using natural light, because I believe the world has so much to offer. The light of the world is so beautiful. So I want to, for example, Moscow has a certain tone, which I can't replicate. If I'm able to just explore that and make it come, just capture it.
Okay.
That itself is beauty, is what I believe in. And the sun of Moscow is different from the sun of, because the angle at which the sun hits in Moscow, because it's the northern hemisphere, a little bit more northern than us. So the sun comes at a certain angle. It's always at a northern hemisphere or angle. Whereas India, it's a little bit closer to the equator. Sun is a little topish.
Okay.
So yeah. Also the textures, we have a certain kind of the color temperature of Moscow is colder compared to what we have here. So if you're able to capture that and present it as it is, and obviously we have the tools in post production like DI and CG, where we can enhance it to a more palatable or more stylized version. Or a stylized version, we can present it. But if you're able to capture it in its essence, I think there's a lot of beauty in it.